I really like this new screen for this new reason.
Right.
You can see Corona Airport. And we can also see there is a VOR right here. And this is called Paradise VOR. I know it looks really confusing because Riverside is right here. So any of you student pilots, you need to look at this big little line right here.
But for an untowered airport, at what point should they be talking to the CTAF frequency instead of their approach?
The moment that there are times where it is just clear enough at your particular airport in your area for you to go fly pattern.
But you also have to understand that sometimes your airport can be a secondary airport.
Welcome to the Aviation Mentors Podcast, the podcast that takes your dreams of flight and turns it into reality.
Sponsored by Strass Financial, financing your flight training.
For pilots, by pilots. I'm Brandon Martini, a commercial pilot and flight instructor.
And I'm Carson Vasquez, I'm a private pilot.
Whether you're a seasoned pilot or beginner with dreams of flight,
Aviation Mentors is your source for expert insights, industry trends, and inspiring stories.
So fasten your seatbelts and prepare for this incredible journey through the skies.
And stay connected with us on social media for exclusive content.
And visit our website at www.aviationmentors.com and let us be your co-pilot on this adventure. Welcome back, everybody, to another awesome and, of course, amazing episode of the Aviation Mentors Podcast. If I could speak today.
You know what our podcast is called, right?
Aviation Mentors.
Okay, just making sure.
Yes, it is. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. Although I can't even speak today. Might be because I just did such an awesome episode on entrepreneurship right before this, which was a lot of fun with my friend Leo Gessner.
Yeah, Brandon came into my part of the office and said, "Hey, do you have any idea why I'm just so good at these interviews?" I was like, "Well, the podcast helps, and doing a lot of interviews also helps."
I think both.
I think you're pretty good.
Yeah, I was totally joking around, but I was kind of serious. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think we've nailed talking in public.
I don't know if I've nailed it. I don't know if anybody ever does, but it sure gotten a lot better at it. Better than most. Better than most. Just like Dave Ramsey says, better than I deserve.
Yes.
That's how my life feels. Cool. Well, today, guess what, everybody? We are going to be talking about an exciting new topic, and it's not Brandon getting multi-engine current that I did 2 weeks ago.
What?
Should we start with that? I guess we can start with that.
Yeah. You said you were thinking about doing it. I didn't know you actually pulled the trigger.
Well, my multi-engine current is a lot different than most other people's. So I had 30 minutes before a CFI meeting because I've got a little bit more integrated in my old flight school, Next Gen Flight Academy, a little bit more. As of lately, I'm trying to help them with some projects over there. And I really want to clean up some operations and whatnot since I sold the company 2 years ago. So I've been helping out. So I had a CFI meeting and I said, "Oh, is the Duchess available right now?" And this is 30 minutes before the CFI meeting. They said, "Oh, yeah, and it needs to be test flown because Rich just changed something in it." I said, "Oh, perfect. I know the person for that. The person is me."
You're a good test pilot.
Yeah. So I said, "Okay, I'll go test it." He replaced a tachometer or something in it. I can't remember what it was.
Oh, I was like, nothing like getting current in a plane that you need to test flight on.
No, it was a turn coordinator. He put a new turn coordinator in there.
Something's
turn coordinator stopped working. So he put a new turn coordinator in. So I said, "Okay, I'll just go up. I need to go get current anyway, so no one can go with me. I'm sorry." So I went and did 3 touch and goes. So of course I want to go do them at Riverside. Yeah. And I just wanted to get up, go, do my touch and goes and get back like rapid. I wanted to try to get like the fastest I've ever done 3 touch and goes was it was like 0.3.
Yeah, you take a short approach on every one of them.
Well, I did but it was 0.3 with a 172. I don't know if it was even towered at the time, but it was quick. So I call Riverside Tower and I see this jet in front of me and I see all these people in the run-up area. I'm like, "Can I get a Delta departure?" Which is just a departure, just shorter than at the end of the runway where Charlie normally is. And I asked for a Delta departure and I asked for left close traffic. I'd like to do 2 touch and goes and a full stop. And they said, "Pattern is full, unable." I said, "I would like to go to Flaybob, please." And they said, 6716 Zulu, cleared for takeoff, runway 27 at Delta, right downwind departure approved.
It's always nice when you can cut off traffic like that.
So I literally cut in front of jets, other flight school planes, but they probably know my voice, at least from over the years. So they let me go. I depart. I take off. I make a right turn, get into the pattern at Flaybob. They tell me there's traffic over there. I said, "No problem. I see them. They're 1,000 feet above me or 500 feet, whatever they were." And I get over to the pattern and I just do, you kind of have to do short approaches at Flaybob, and it's got this really short 3,000 foot runway. I mean, it's not that short, honestly, but it's short for a multi-engine. So I go over there and I do one touch and go, make a left close traffic, do another touch and go. I come back and I show up over to Riverside. I said, I'm ready for a full stop. I said, can I get a short approach, please? So they give me a short approach. I get down.
You had to make the meeting still, right?
I had to make the meeting. I had to do the pre-flight. I had to do a run-up. So I did a run-up on the go. And I had to make sure I used my checklist.
Yeah.
And I had to depart safely, talk to traffic, had to go talk to an untowered, then get transferred back to towered, and then short approach, and then boom, landed.
At least you're in a pretty fast plane. I mean, not fast, all things considered.
Yeah. So what did I end up doing that in? I want to say from run up and everything, I think it was 0.4. Let me check. I mean, it was pretty quick. Might have been more than that, but.
And Flip was kind of a short runway. Every time you talk about a short runway in the Duchess, I think about that trip we took to Harris Ranch.
Oh, I love Harris Ranch.
Yeah, but we took the Duchess and we were trying to make sure we could actually land it there.
Yeah, I did 0.4.
That's pretty fast.
Yeah, 0.4 for 3 touch and goes in a multi-engine aircraft.
All right, yeah, 25 minutes all around. Not bad.
Not bad. 0.4. Is that correct?
Yeah, 0.4 times 6.
0.4 times 6.
2.4.
24 minutes. You're right. Oh, Carson, good math.
Thank you.
Just kidding.
I can only do math in multiples of 6 and 10s, apparently.
Apparently. But it was a lot of fun. I got up, did all that, came back, and multi-engine current. My next step is I need to get IFR current. I am not IFR current. And I asked everybody in the CFI meeting, because there was 8 of us in there, I said, who wants to do my IPC, everybody? And you know who raised their hand? Everybody did not say a peep.
Devin.
No, Devin wasn't there. He couldn't make us. He had a different work obligation. Eric
did?
Eric said, I'll do it. And Eric just wants to mess with me.
Yeah, he loves messing with me.
Yeah, he's the chief pilot over there, so he wants to mess with me.
He's the one that kept Brandon so sharp on all the
crazy regulations.
Yeah, they would always just contest regulations in front of each other, just nonstop.
Yeah, he's one heck of a pilot, that's for sure.
Knowledgeable guy.
Very, very knowledgeable guy, and he will be very hard on me if I could do my IPC with him.
Yeah, it'd be like you and I flying.
No, I'm a little nicer, I think. He's going to make sure I am like check ride ready for that IPC. So
as you should be.
As I should be. So I'll probably do it with him depending on his availability and schedule. If not, I'll do it with one of the other instructors. But after I get that IPC done, you know what it's time for?
Your ATP?
My ATP.
Nice.
I'm this close. I'm getting ready. I'm feeling like I want to do it.
Are you actually going to do it?
Yes.
I'm actually going to make time?
I'm going to make time. I think I'll be fine on the flying part. It's just passing that written.
You do so well with any written test.
Oh, I know. Seriously.
Yeah, it's a flaw.
It's a flaw for me. Well, because we talked about all of that and a caveat from IFR traffic today, I know we've talked for already 5 minutes on my getting current in the Duchess in 0.4, which I do not recommend though. If you're going to go do something like that, you better have a lot of time. And I looked in my logbook and the Duchess is the second most hours I have out of any type of aircraft I've ever flown. Number 1 is a 172. Number 2 is Duchess.
Really?
Yeah. And it's
more than Pipers or?
Yeah. More than anything.
Wow.
Duchess. I have like 300 hours in a Duchess.
You have the amount of hours I have total in one plane.
In
the multi-engine of all things.
Yeah. And I've flown 4 different Duchess, but I would say 90% of them were in that particular Duchess. So I really know that plane really, really well.
Yeah, a lot of people would kill for that much multi-time.
I know. Until they start working, then they're like, I would kill for some single engine time.
Yeah, never forget where you came from.
Exactly. Point being, today we're going to talk about what VFR pilots should know about IFR traffic. Do you happen to know, Carson?
I don't know. I don't think I do.
They share the same airspace with us. So if you're watching us, I am going to do something. Boom.
I'm impressed.
I'm impressed too.
I had this idea for this episode, actually. It was on a cloudy day, and I was passing by Corona Airport, and the clouds were high enough that there was VFR traffic in the pattern. But I was thinking to myself, if I was just a pilot, a VFR pilot, flying under the clouds, just trying to do some touch and goes at my airport, what should I know about the IFR traffic coming in, especially because Corona is an untowered airport? What should any pilot be aware of or be refreshed on?
Oh, you should look in your AFD for sure and find out what their routes are they're taking for IFR.
So you know where they're coming from, first of all.
Exactly. I mean, You know that that planes are going to be coming into one of the runways. I mean, that's pretty obvious, right? But do you know where they're circling? Do you know how they're getting down to the ground? If they're on an IFR flight plan, they're supposed to still circle the land. That means they might cut you off on your traffic, intentionally or unintentionally. Now, if they get into VFR, they should be smarter than that and transition to kind of a VFR flight pattern. But they don't have to. So I would be very, very cautious on that front.
Can I just ask you some general questions?
Yeah, let's do it.
What are the rules about when an IFR plane should be contacting the traffic in the pattern? They're towered airports, I assume that they would just take control, right? That tower would take the handoff from approach?
That is correct, yes.
Okay, so they would be aware. But for an untowered airport, at what point should they be talking to the CTAF frequency instead of their approach?
The moment that the approach controller passes them off.
Can they do it sooner if it's clear day? And
I mean, if you've got a second pilot, you can isolate your comms, and that second pilot is communicating. Sure, but if not, no, it's the moment that the controller is passing you off.
Okay.
So the reason why I brought this here, and you can see my mouse right here. We can see Corona Airport, and I really like this new screen for this new reason.
Right.
You can see Corona Airport, and we can also see there is a VOR right here, and this is called Paradise VOR. I know it looks really confusing because Riverside is right here. So any of you student pilots, you need to look at this big little line right here. Boom, Paradise. All right. So as you can see, I pulled up Corona Airport, and also there's a VOR right next to it. And it's kind of right where my mouse is, kind of in the middle. So there's a VOR really close by. Now, don't be confused by the box just to the right that says VOR Riverside, which is the Riverside VOR, which is at 108.6, right? RAL. You do not want to use that one when you're talking about that VOR. Look at those little dots that scroll up to it that head past Chino and almost to Ontario Airport. That is Paradise VOR, which is the one we're talking about. And you can see the little dot showing it, right? And that's 112.2 for Paradise. If you look at Corona's departure and approach procedures, and if you look at all of the details on Corona, it's going to tell you that you're going to come in from, I can't remember the exact radial. It's been a while since I've done this approach. I will be able to say this once I get my IPC done, though.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. We're going to be coming in from Paradise, basically direct at an angle from there to here at an angle. So I'm not going to be coming straight in. It's going to be coming in at an angle, and then I'm supposed to circle to land and then come in to land on runway, I don't know, 22 or whatever runway that number is, 226 or 28. I can't remember which one it is, but that's going to be how you're doing it. So if you look up the AFD and the procedures for this airport, you will find all of that information there. Other airports you can find out, for example, Riverside, if you go look up their information, which they're right here, you actually land on runway 9er, which is the opposite runway of most traffic. Most traffic, you actually end up on 27. So do
you have to land on 9er?
You can circle to land 27.
Okay.
And you will do that if the wind favors that, but you will come in with a tailwind.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. Okay. So why is this all important? It's important because if you're flying around VFR and you're flying around VFR because the clouds are high enough for you to go fly around IFR today, right? Then you should be able to go talk to the approach controller, because you should be, it all depends on where you're flying. But if the clouds are high enough where somebody's going to use an approach, the controller should keep it out of the way. But if controllers are busy and you're in uncontrolled airspace, which it may not look like there's a lot of uncontrolled airspace right here in this map, guess what? There is, especially if you're low. I mean, just to the north of Riverside, you'll see where it says, so over 2,700 is Riverside. Below 2,700 is Riverside. Above 2,700 is the Charlie, around part of it. But there's portions of this Charlie that are a lot lower. So if we look on the outside of this big red circle up here, outside of that big red circle, it starts at 2,700 and it goes up to 5,000. And that's along the edges here. So That is uncontrolled airspace, 2,700 below. And you are right on the approach path for Ontario Airport, which is one of our major airports in this region. It's Class Charlie. So there's a lot of things you need to know about this. If you're flying in uncontrolled airspace, which you kind of are, right?
You got to make sure you're not in a collision path with
an
airplane traffic.
Yeah. Now, all of these airspaces were created so you will stay out of collisions, but you need to be wary. Honestly, they do a lot of testing for these airspace designations, but if you screw up and they screw up, whoever that IFR traffic is, at the same exact time, your max separation can be 300 feet. That's not comfortable, guys. You don't want to do that. Okay.
I think it's a near miss if it's under 500 feet, right?
I would have to double check that, but I believe so.
Yeah.
So I would be very, very careful and understand your airspace and understand, where you're at, because, it's important.
You know what time it is, Carson?
Time's it, Brandon?
It's time to talk about one of our favorite companies.
Which company would that be?
Aviation Mentors is excited to be sponsored by the one and only Stratus Financial, dedicated to supporting the next generation of future aviators.
Stratus Financial really understands the financial challenges that students face in pursuing their aviation dreams. That's why they offer student loans specifically tailored to aspiring pilots.
With competitive rates and flexible repayment plans, Stratus Financial helps take your aviation education to new heights.
So go visit their website today at www.stratus.finance. Just to be clear, that is not .com, it's .finance. And embark on your journey towards a sky full of possibilities.
Carson, it's time to get back to what we do best.
The show.
So know where that IFR traffic is. Now, obviously, if it's just IFR out, you're not going to be flying VFR anyways.
Yeah, but you're concerned.
But there are times where it is just clear enough at your particular airport in your area for you to go fly pattern.
But you also have to understand that sometimes your airport can be a secondary airport for some of these other pilots. So if it's clear enough for you, some of those pilots might be landing at your airport anyway.
Correct. Yeah. People that are on the way to Vegas from LAX, sometimes their alternative is listed as Ontario Airport. So if you leave LAX and go to Vegas and it's too windy or
you're coming back to
cloudy,
Ontario,
you're coming back to Ontario, which is kind of funny.
it's a good one.
Or Palm Springs. Also an alternative that I've heard listed quite a few times.
Imagine trying to just go from LAX to Vegas and end up in Palm Springs instead.
Hey, still the desert, still warm.
You're right.
It's possible. But also remember, there's different speed profiles on these aircraft that they're going to be coming in, right? So if you're just playing around in the pattern and let's just say the IFR traffic messes up. I know this happens at French Valley all the time, south of here, but people will come in IFR to this uncontrolled airport. And we even had a jet that crashed and they weren't really talking to anybody. And this happened like a year ago. So there's a lot of other airports around here. There's a smaller Hemet airports right up there. I've actually never seen this Billy Joe Airport. That's new. But we've got a little private airport called Skylark. They do a lot of parachute jumping, and they can do that. I've seen them fly through the clouds. I don't know how they do it legally, but I'm sure they can. You can even see it. It says intensive parachute activity at or below 18,000 MSL, which is right here. And then you have March Air Force Base or Air Reserve Base. And there is a ton of traffic that comes in and out of there, especially when they're training. Plus, French Valley is a huge training airport. There are a lot of planes that train.
So many. It needs a tower.
It needs a tower really badly. It should be a Delta at the bare minimum, to be honest. But besides all of that, and I know it's going to be hard for some of you that are just listening on here, so hopefully you're seeing some of these as clips. And I'm trying to be as descriptive as possible, but French Valley is really close to a lot of airports, to put it plainly. And they're at Foxtrot 70. So if you want to go look at SkyVector or look in ForeFlight or whatever you might be using, that might be advantageous for you while you're listening to this, or once you're not driving, of course. Or if you're on a run, you can probably pull it up or something like that. But you need to be wary of all this traffic because you can have a ton of planes in the pattern at this particular airport. And I know for a fact there's a lot of high clouds in this area when there is IFR traffic. So you want to be very, very cautious. And what happens if they kind of fat finger it and they put in the wrong frequency and they're talking and they didn't even realize that there's a bunch of people in the pattern? So you really need to be wary and watch yourself. So whenever I make like a left base turn, I look to my right and I say, the final is clear.
Okay.
Yeah, I say the final is clear because I want to make sure that there's no IFR traffic, especially if it's a cloudy day like that, coming right at me. So it's something that you have to be wary about.
Yeah, a lot of IFR traffic, especially when it seems like there's low traffic around the airport, will just try and do a straight-in approach. I've seen that
all the time.
Lot. Of course, it's easier, but you're already set up for it, especially like with the approach we're talking about going into Corona Airport. The Paradise VOR is slightly north and to the east. So you're coming in essentially lined up for the runway at Corona, which obviously would be super easy to just do a straight-in approach instead of circle to land.
Exactly. And since we talked about this earlier, I thought it'd be advantageous if I pulled it up.
Thank you.
Here's the plate for Corona. We talked about Paradise VOR, right? Here's Paradise. Notice it's at a different location over here. It's a 236 radial, and then circle to land. Boom. So now you can see it if you're watching. But yeah, you enter Paradise, you enter a hold, then you enter the 236 radial at 3,100 feet, and then you take that down to your decision altitude, which is 1660, and then circle to land. So, by the way, I just pulled this up on AirNav, and it has all the most up-to-date information. It's kind of the easiest way you can do it if you're looking on the internet. Besides ForeFlight. ForeFlight's obviously easy, but I wasn't going to pull it up on here. So
yeah, I haven't seen your login.
No one needs to see my login or my tracks or anything like that. No, thank you. Or the planes that I fly. Although I'd love to fly with a whole bunch of you. But by the way, shout out to the person who sent me an email on the 120. Thank you very much. I don't have that email in front of me, but I will shout you out again on the next episode. A fantastic email.
Oh, shucks.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So
Brian always gets so excited when he gets one. Sent it to our group chat, and he's like, look,
I got a cool email.
It's awesome.
All right. So outside of that, well, I think that's kind of enough for today talking about this. But the moral of today's story is
pay attention.
Look outside. Make sure that you're paying attention to other traffic that might be around. IFR traffic can't come out of anywhere, but it can come out of somewhere, and that somewhere is places that you could find.
Yeah, I mean, it's helpful to just know where to look, right? You're in a pattern. You don't have a controller like approach telling you traffic, 2 o'clock, altitude. But if you know the approaches to that airport, especially when you know people are likely to be shooting approaches, whether real ones or just practice approaches, and they're just going to go missed. Also, it brings up another idea. Knowing where the missed approach is going to take them, very important as well. That's just another part of it.
It really is. By the way, I've been calling it an AFD all day, and I knew I was messing up because AFD is what
you're old.
Our old people call an airport facility directory, if you didn't know. All of you newer pilots call it something
chart supplement.
It's called the chart supplement.
Yeah, it's okay. I was just going to let the old timer do his thing.
I know.
Can't teach an old dog new tricks.
I know. Sometimes I can't get rid of AFD and I can't get rid of BFR. These are like ingrained in my head. But chart supplement and flight review. Don't worry, when I teach my students, I teach them the right things. Except for on Aviation Mentors Podcast, apparently I can't.
Where we teach our plethora of students all sorts of things.
All sorts of things, yeah. Remember, we have a disclaimer for a reason, guys. We try to do our best, but
we're not perfect. The only thing that the FAA has done
especially Carson.
Exactly. In terms of renaming things, is taking notice to air missions back to...
yeah, I mean, they changed it back to nose to airman. I mean, that's a very...
it wasn't like an unwillingness to change. It's just some of these things are so ingrained, and we have so many acronyms in aviation that...
for us to change things, it makes it difficult. So FAA, please keep things the same for us.
Well,
and if you change them back to what they used to be.
Yeah, the FAA loves keeping things the same.
Well, thank you everybody again for listening to us today and watching us. If you're watching us on YouTube, hopefully we were a little bit more interactive today, which was fantastic. This is our 199th episode. I am very excited.
What?
Next week will be number 200. And we're going to be rebranding to no longer have seasons, and we will be calling them episode 200 and then 201 and then 202 because it bothers me that it looks like we have less episodes than we do.
Yeah, I understand that. It took a second for us to count it up.
Yep, it did. So I'm really excited about that. But if you'd like to reach out to either one of us, you can reach us on our emails, brandon@aviationmentors.com, carson@aviationmentors.com, or via our LinkedIn handles. Please look for me. I'm the most handsome Brandon Martini you'll find on LinkedIn. I think I might also be the only one. You can also look for Carson Vasquez on LinkedIn as well. It is the absolute best way to get in touch with us. Make sure you mention Aviation Mentors in the comment when you add us, so we make sure to add you back. Also, don't forget, if I could speak today, to hit like, follow, subscribe, or share on whatever streaming platform you are either listening or, of course, hopefully watching us on. It's a huge part of helping us grow the aviation community and, of course, help us grow the podcast. So thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. And as we wrap up for the day, remember, here to guide you in your aviation journey. So fly safe and enjoy the ride.
See ya.